Hi, my name's Alex, and I did my project on the Rambouillet sheep. The Rambouillet sheep are a fairly large breed of sheep. They have a wool-free face, and other than that, they're completely covered. They both are pulled and unpulled, and they have white hooves. Their wool also is very, very dense and thick, very, very fluffy, very, very fine. So a little history on them. Was they originally, the merino sheep was a sheep in Spain that was imported to France in 1786 after Spain lifted its export restrictions on it. Then the French bred them in for a few years until 1801, and then they decided that it was its own breed, and that was the Rambouillet was the sheep they named it. After that, in 1858, they were shown in Canada for the first time and imported here for reproduction and production traits. They are a fairly large at 70 to 90 kilos for the ewes and 100 to 135 kilos for the rams, large size. They have a lower lambing rate at 175% or 1 3/4 lambs per ewe, and they have an average daily gain of 0.4 kilos or 0.9 pounds, just short of a pound a day. Pretty good. They also have a little bit of an extended breeding season, but not a lot, so it's not overly great, but it's not too bad either. And they're very, very hardy against heat and cold. As they were from Spain, so they do very well against the heat, and with all that very thick, dense wool, they've adapted also very, very well against the cold. But they have no really good resistances against any diseases, but they have no major issues with any of them either, so that puts them for diseases right there smack dab in the middle at average. Nothing special, but nothing wrong with them. As far as benefits, is their wool is a big one for them. They're known for the very, very high quality, thick, dense, and uniform bright wool. As you can see on this fella here, you can see how thick that is and how dense it is on this side, and just how much of it there is. They yield between 4.5 to 7 kilos of wool, and it's very, very high quality and a premium wool. And with all that wool, they're very hardy against the winter, like I said. They also have excellent growth weights, 100 days. The pound a day for the first 100 days is really, really good. And they do very well on sparser vegetation, and they'll walk quite a ways for the water, and it doesn't seem to affect them too much. They also have a very, very high quality carcass. So their meat's very, very good quality, very, very lean, good meat. They're all mature between a year and 18 months of age, which is pretty good for a sheep, but it's nothing too special. They got a lifespan of 10 to 12 years, a fairly long life, and they're very, very calm sheep. So they don't get worked up too much. They don't stress themselves out like that. And they're a very quiet sheep, which is good, keeps noise down and makes it just that much nicer to work with. They also are very, very good at staying in herds together, which makes them easier if you have them on pasture, for example. They'll Once you get the herd moving, you can keep it all moving and they'll all stick together very, very well. And so they get protection from predators with numbers, and their thick wool also protects them from predators. With all that wool there, they get very, very well protected, as that's very hard for something like a coyote to try and bite through to hurt them. But at their ankles, it's a little thinner, so something like a herding dog can still get them to move. Now, there are drawbacks to them, like anything. After that first 100 days of growth, they really start to drop off and don't finish overly fast. And each ewe does not have that high numbers that they give at because 1.5 to 1 3/4 lambs per ewe is very, very low per time. You can do accelerated, but that's still very poor compared to a lot of competitors. So, for conclusion, their very, very high quality wool makes it worth a premium, but wool still isn't all that valuable, but you're still going to start making money on wool instead of losing it. But with their very, very good early growing numbers and their very very high quality wool, and so that makes them a very good meat sheep, a meat ram, in a crossbreeding system, and adds there and really could help out as you get the good yield, and then you give them with a more prolific breed, and you'll have larger lambs and more of them, and it'll work out very well, much like a Suffolk or a Texel would in a herd, but with wool that's valuable instead of not, and about the same size as them, so management doesn't need to change all that much compared to one of those two. So that's my thoughts on the Rambouillet, and hope you found this helpful. Bye. Whoopsies.